managing your time as an entrepreneur. I'm Ruth Kudzi, the founder of Ruth Kudzi Coaching. I transformed my life and my business, and I'm passionate about helping others do the same. I hear people talk about this so much. Lots of people start off as entrepreneurs and they're like, brilliant, I can do whatever I want. That quickly goes to, oh, I can do whatever I want. And many of us slip into our old routines. It took me nearly 3 years to realise the reason that I didn't take a lunch break is actually, as I came from education and used to be a senior leader, I spent the last 8 years never having a lunch break, because my lunch break, I was on duty with the kids. So you really think about all of these old beliefs about how you work coming to you as an entrepreneur. And for many people, they're at home, they've got the laptop, they've got the internet. You can be online 24/7 if you want. And there is this big belief that working longer hours is better. The harder you work, the more that you achieve. Now, despite the fact that there has been so much research into the way that you work is as important, that doesn't mean that you can only work for 10 minutes a day and make $1 million. This isn't that kind of video. But what it does mean is about thinking about how you work best. So first of all, think about when your energy is highest. So are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? Does that fit in with the rest of your life? Do you have family commitments? Do you have caring commitments? Because you need to make your work for you. So at the first level, the most fundamental level, it's looking at your week and doing that exercise. Okay, when have I got my most energy and what other commitments do I have? So putting the other commitments in first. For me, I have to get my kids ready for school. I have to take them to school. I have to pick them up from school. And yes, I share that with my husband, but we have in my diary that actually these are my limitations on my working days, at least 3 days a week. So we've already got that there. But then I think about my energy. So when's my energy highest? What do I need to do to get into that high energy, to get into that state? Well, actually, walking, like going outside, doing some exercise, all of those things help me. So now I think about, okay, so when can I do that in my day? If I do it earlier on, I know that I'm going to be more alert and I'm going to perform better than if I do it later. Okay, so let's put that into my diary. And then let's think about how I'm actually managing my time day to day. What do I need to do? What are the priorities? Let's do those first. Todd Herman in 90 Day Year will call those big rocks. So what are the big rocks? What are the things that are going to really move you forward? Those are the things that you put into your diary first. And then what are the things that maybe aren't as important that you put off? And what are those things that you have every day on your list but you never do? Looking at those, do you need to do them? Can you delegate them or can you ditch them? So being really strategic. One of the things that I would say to you when we're thinking about big rocks is get really clear on where you're going. What is your big goal? And then you can be really clear, how does this link to it? So if I've got something in my diary that doesn't link to my big goal, why am I doing it? Really good way to stay laser focused. So then let's think about the day to day. It's not only how you work, it's where you work. Think about the most effective space. Do you have a dedicated space? Is that set up? Are you able to close down your laptop at the end of the day? Or are you still on it? Are you working into the evening? Are you watching the TV and answering emails? We've all been there. And this is about boundaries. So think about what your boundaries are. When will you work? When won't you work? And get really clear. Segment that off. You can have apps that switch off all the social media on your phone. You can take them off. You can have a work phone where you go on social media and another phone where you don't. So you're starting to build boundaries into how you manage your time. Setting expectations. We set expectations with clients. If they're one-to-one or mastermind, I get back to them within 24 hours, Monday to Friday. We let them know when I'm away. If they are in our coach training, we get back to them within 48 hours, Monday to Friday, not at the weekends. We set our working hours, and yes, our working hours are 9 till 5. That's our core hours. We actually have support around the clock, but people are doing different things. So be really clear, communicate your expectations, communicate your boundaries, and then make sure that you stick to it. So a really good rule of thumb is to have a transition activity in the morning and a transition activity in the afternoon. Even if you are working from home, you can get up and go for a walk, set your working day. You can do the same at the end of the day, or maybe you go outside, or maybe you do a meditation. So then you're really making it clear, this is the start of my working day, this is the end of my working day. Think about what you're going to plan for your downtime as well. Thinking about what energizes you. Stephen Covey talks about this in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So what you do in quadrant 2 builds your capacity. If you're thinking about that, that could be reading, exercising, it could be seeing friends, it could be listening to a podcast. Anything that you do there will help build capacity for when you're really working in that urgent, important box, quadrant number 1. So again, look at your week. When are you able to do things that can actually enhance your performance? We know going for a walk actually makes you perform better. We know taking regular breaks. So are you doing that? When you're working, I absolutely, if I'm on a call with someone, I start hearing bing, bing, bing. I'm like, why have you got notifications on? When you've got notifications on, you're basically saying that other people's tasks are more important than your own. Switch off all notifications. If you're working on something, work in time blocks, 30 minutes, 45, 50 minutes. We actually do our coach training that we always have a maximum of 50 minutes as a block, and then we have a 10-minute break, because we model that. You can't stay focused. So if you're sitting at your laptop, and we also know that when you want to actually tap into system 2, more creative thinking, you're not going to be doing that stuck at a laptop staring at a screen. So go out for a walk, have a cup of tea, have a coffee, do some meditation, whatever works for you, but take those regular breaks. So big rocks first, take regular breaks, map out what needs to be in your diary each week, and actually plan it in there. Have transition activities from before and after work. And then start to be flexible and see, when do I get the most work done? What are my distraction activities? And when do I distract myself? When do I procrastinate? And think about what you could do differently. All of this is about how you set yourself up for success, how you want to structure your day. Think about what's going to work best for you. I've got clients who are single. I'm always smiling because I'm like, it's definitely not people with young kids like me. And they don't start their working day till 12 o'clock. So they work from maybe 12 o'clock to 8 o'clock, which means in the morning they might go to the gym, they might lie in, they might have a really nice breakfast, and that works for them. I have other clients who are the opposite. They get up at 5 a.m. and they work till 1 or 2, and then they do things afterwards. The problem is when you're someone who works from 5 in the morning till 8 at night, and you don't have any breaks in between. That again could work for you if you're doing like 5 till 8, and then maybe you've got the day and you're doing things during the day, you're outside, you're going to galleries, you're getting inspiration, and then you're working in the evening as well. So you can be flexible, but you're only going to make it work if you're boundaried. We hear so much about entrepreneurial burnout, and often that's because you're not managing your time, because you're not being clear on your boundaries. You're saying yes to everyone, and you're saying yes to working with people in the evenings, even if you don't want to, or you're saying yes to doing early morning calls when that doesn't work for you. So I'd like you to really step into what you want your working week to look like, what you want your working year to look like, and for you to start prioritizing and blocking out that time. Regular breaks, looking at what energizes you, and looking at what is actually going to move you towards your goal, and getting rid of any notifications. The next video is over here. Before you go, remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell.